welcome back to this week's episode of Friends of Kayla. I have one of my childhood best friends here, just a small town girl from Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Now she's cooking for some of the biggest names in Hollywood. So Chef Bae, Brooke, welcome.
Hello. Hi. This
Great
is
to
so
see
fun.
you.
Wow, look at us in Miami.
In Miami, I know,
Crazy.
full circle from growing up in small town Mass to being here in Miami.
From preschool to now. Wow, our moms are so proud.
They're so proud. I know, and we have a baby pic to show it.
So cute.
Insert here.
We have so many. I know. We have to ask our moms for more.
We need more. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
so many. I posted on my story being like, guess who this is? You'll win a prize. And people did recognize you, I will say.
Really?
They think you look the same.
Oh, that's so funny.
And like,
So funny.
honestly, I think I look the same too.
Yeah, you look the exact
I think we
same. You
both
have
look
not
the exact
aged
same. Yeah, we
since
haven't
you were
aged.
two. Yeah.
So like our skincare routine, something's working for us, honestly. I'll
great.
take it as a compliment. We look the same. Well, Brooke, I'm so happy we're finally doing this. And, you know, just from outside of being childhood friends, like you've always been a hustler. And I remember even in college, we traveled together to, where were we that weekend? In Prague.
Oh my
went to
gosh.
Prague
And
together.
you got the hives from the turtleneck that like
Yes.
the dessert, one of them, and like you broke out
I
in
broke
hives
out in
for
hives
no
because
reason.
we had
Yeah.
like 3 a day when we were there. So yeah, alert,
You abroad
alert.
diet.
Don't eat the same dessert multiple times in a day when you're abroad because maybe, I don't know what triggered it, but I don't ever have allergic reactions to anything.
I loved Prague.
Yeah, Prague was great. Yeah. But I remember that trip, like we were, I think, how old were we? 21 probably. And we were both talking about our internships for the summer. And you were just such a networker and you were helping me with my resume and giving me like career advice. And it's so crazy that you were in corporate America for the time that you were in, because now seeing you outside of that, I'm like, how were you ever a corporate girly?
It was wild to look back. Like everything happens for a reason. Even in college, I studied everything, and every single job, every single major leads you to something. I studied
Yeah.
fashion even in undergrad, and then had a line of chef jumpsuits. Like you never know where something's going to lead, so it has followed every single passion. But food science, business, communications, product development, like somehow it all culminated and made sense. But
Yeah,
the
you were
corporate
like
world
interning at
taught me
Macy's,
a lot.
I think.
Yeah,
Right? That was like your first
first,
internship.
Yeah, and then the TJX companies, I was doing corporate food product development, so in the checkout line, doing all the little curated assortments and working with vendors like Ghirardelli to come up with the Easter basket assortment as you check out. Like you never know where things will lead you, but it taught me a lot about marketing, working on teams, being a leader, just the product supply chain in a company. So yeah, it's I learned a lot.
What a
Learn
journey.
like business school? No, you don't learn how to run a business in business school. That is one thing. Oh my gosh, you're like thrown into it.
Yeah, yeah. So what do you
But
think is the secret to your success in like getting to where you are today? The big question.
originally the sacrifice, honestly, like moving,
Yeah.
I think my parents thought I was crazy for the first 2 years of me starting anything. I left my hometown, I left my family, I left the East Coast, moved to LA, had never been to LA before, and just said, let me give it 6 months. And moved into a friend's of a friend's apartment, borrowed a girl's 15-year-old car, and just became a yes man. Like, just honestly was I let go of my corporate job, and then I just said, I'm giving it 6 months. Let me just figure it out. And just said, worst case, I can move back at home with my parents. And that was going to be a realistic thing. And my parents literally took my bed from New York and moved it into my childhood bedroom, assuming I was going to be moving back home. Like, even they were like, we support you, honey, but like, we'll see you in 6 months kind of thing.
Yeah, as
And then
Jewish
never turned
parents, I'm
back.
sure they
Yeah.
were concerned at
But
the
they were like,
time.
what are you doing on the TikTok? My mom still doesn't have a TikTok. She thinks China's going to hack her phone. So she still does not have TikTok. My dad has a TikTok, follows one person, it's me.
Yeah.
So they kind of know what I do, but like
Yeah.
to this day, they were just supportive. But I truly was unhinged.
Unhinged,
And
to
just
say the least.
risked it all, like sacrificed a lot and just went after it and was a yes man. Like the things I did, I mean, looking back, there was like right when I moved to LA, someone was like, do you know how to do a grazing table? And I had literally no idea what that even was. It was like the beginning of those giant charcuterie tables.
Oh, yeah.
Literally no idea what that was. I was like, yeah, no problem. They were like, the head singer of Imagine Dragons needs a charcuterie table 3 hours away. Can you do it tomorrow? I literally went to Trader Joe's, like got all this random stuff and YouTubed how to build a charcuterie table at the event.
Wow.
3 hours away. Like, Anyway,
Yeah, you're just like, I might as well throw yourself into it. Would
throw
that be your
yourself into
tip? Is
it.
just like say yes and just
Be a yes
go
man because
for
you
it?
can figure literally anything out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you can figure it out.
that's good advice. And yeah, what's life been like? I mean, I think I remember like you moving from New York, obviously, where you were doing your corporate job, which it's so funny you lived in New York because you are not a New York girl, like at all,
No,
right?
not at all.
Not to
I don't
call you
know.
out,
It's
Brooke, but
like
like I feel like you like LA and Miami is way more your scene, like wellness culture. New York, you really don't have that.
yeah, New York was dirty. I was hustle and bustle. I feel like I have a good community in New York, and it's fun just to go there for a weekend. But I don't know how I did that for a few years. I think going to Syracuse undergrad and just having my whole New York crew there made it kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then no, now looking back, I'm like, wow, I was living in a. It was technically a one bed that was flexed to a three
I
bed.
remember in Chelsea.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
living room was flexed to a bedroom. I basically lived in the office that barely fit a bed with two tiny closets, and then
You're like, why did
with
we do that to
one
ourselves?
rotating psycho roommate. Yeah, why I just, but it led me here. And then the funny thing, I had a job at that point, and one this boss is like what motivated me in life to just say I never want to work for like a boss ever again. This woman was like the worst boss you could ever imagine. She was just a nightmare. I came home crying. I hated this woman. And then like a few months ago, she DM'd me being like, I tell everyone like about your success. I'm so proud of you, and to think that you started under me. I'm like, she's definitely taking credit for like everything. And for me, I'm like,
You ruined my life.
you ruined my life. That's how you get credit for my success. You literally ruined my life to make me never want to work for someone like you ever again. That motivated me to just like go after it. So like thank you, but like I hate you.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. But also, yeah, you can credit your success, I guess, to her a little bit,
Literally
given
not.
how much it motivated you.
That New York boss. But no, New York's fun for like a weekend. I loved
Yeah.
LA. I do.
Yeah.
Now just bi-coastal, I guess.
Wait, so getting just like on that same topic of working for yourself, it's so different being out of corporate America and like working solely for yourself. And I feel like within this era of influencing and social media, a lot of influencers recently too have been talking a lot about how it can be really lonely to be a creator and be just working for yourself and having no real like schedule. So do you ever regret leaving corporate America?
No regrets at all. I love it. I'm so blessed to be able to work for myself and I control my schedule. With that, I would say you never turn off. You're always on and you're 100% responsible for your success. And there's a lot of pressure with that and you always feel like you could always be doing more and doing more and doing more. So setting those boundaries and having a work-life balance is something that I still struggle with to this day. But then, you have to learn to kind of outsource. And now I have just an amazing team. I'm so lucky to have a management team. I have a project manager. I have someone who helps me with socials. I have someone who's now helping me here in Miami and LA. So it's like it takes a
village.
village, but it is finding that work life balance. And there is always that pressure that you put on yourself and
Yeah.
just letting go. There is that comfort of being that corporate job, but I would not trade it for the world, but it is a hustle. It's a hustle.
Yeah, I feel like I have a greater appreciation for people like you now, kind of how I've been building my podcast and just editing clips, for example. Like, that takes me hours to do just for one episode. So,
Yeah.
the fact that you're pushing out all of the content that you do and you're just on the go as much as you are, meeting with clients, also doing a million other things that we probably don't even see, like, I just genuinely don't know how you have the time in the day.
I was doing everything on my own, which I highly recommend. If you ever start a business, you have to be able to do every single part of your brand, like the finance, the marketing, the PR, just the crazy, I was going to a client's house, filming and cooking for an 18-hour day, and then I literally would edit for 3 hours and get 3 hours of sleep and then like do that for 3 weeks on end until I crashed. I did that. And then you really realize where you actually need help and in what exact areas, and then you kind of outsource. But knowing every component of your business, like every part is very important, but outsourcing is just as important. So
Yeah. Yeah.
finding the right people in every area and accepting that like even hire people in certain areas that do way better of a job than you could ever do. But yeah,
Yeah. No, I
outsourcing.
outsourcing is key. So what does like a day in the life look like for you? I'm sure every day is so different, but I would say like what is
What is like,
your ideal day in the life of Chef Bae?
so that's definitely something that keeps me, like you said, life can get lonely by just working for yourself and running a company. Keeping me, having some kind of routine definitely helps. You know, a workout class with friends in the morning and having some kind of uh, morning routine that makes every single day kind of the same, integrating your social life with your work life because you are really alone most of the day, I must say. Like
And you're
you're
behind your
working,
screen the whole
yeah,
day.
behind your screen, behind your phone, working with clients, taking meetings. Your work is you, or your work with people remotely pretty much, but it's not a collaborative kind of thing. So, a day typically working out in the morning, having like a good morning routine. I try to have a couple of hours of not looking at my screen before I have to look at my screen all day. And then I usually think about it as a full week rather than just what does one day look like. So Monday will be catching up on office work. Tuesday will be usually when I have a client. So I'll go in and cook for someone, or I'll know I'm filming an ad that day, or I'm on set somewhere. And then Wednesday, Thursday, I'm working on my cookbook. So I'm testing recipes in the kitchen. I'm working on cookbook copy because that has to be done by June. So being very diligent with that. I'm doing 125 recipes. So it's
Oh my
basically a
God.
salad coming winter 2027.
I'm excited.
And then Fridays is I catching up on whatever I have to do, but every single day is so different. Some days I'm like in a Scooby Doo costume in Sarah Michelle Gellar's house, like dancing, eating pasta, and then some days they I don't even know. I was in a mullet and a mustache yesterday, so more to come on that one. Like every single day is truly so different, but
And do you
it's
think
fun.
of
It
all
keeps
of
it
these
exciting.
ideas yourself? Like I always wonder like where do you get your creative inspiration from? Because sometimes I see these videos and I'm like, where does Brooke come up with this shit? You're like on the table with Jake Cohen, like looking all sexy, and then you have your fake boyfriend on social media, like all the like the food porn.
It's fun. I love just coming up with like unhinged ideas, and I used to just be like, "Oh my God, wouldn't that be funny if?" And then I'm like, "Eff it, let me just post it." Like
Yeah.
just I used to care so much about what people would think or like looking perfect, and now I literally just don't care. And like those intrusive thoughts you have of like that would be so funny, I'm literally like, "Eff it, let me do it."
And those are probably your most viral
So it's
videos.
so funny. Yeah, the Scooby Doo thing. I was at a friend's house the night before and I was like, isn't it kind of funny? Because like I cooked for the hot couple in Scooby Doo. If I was Scooby Doo for Halloween and like they came into the background and people are like, yes, do it. And then I literally Amazon Primed a Scooby Doo outfit that night. And I was like, if I can get one delivered, I'll do it.
Oh my
And
God.
then I was like, oh, I guess maybe it could be a theme of all of my celebrity clients like playing their iconic roles in front of them in their house. So like the Zohan at like the Sandler's house, or dressing up as I did the Little Mermaid at Emma Roberts' house, and we did like an aquamarine skit. So I'm like, wouldn't that kind of be funny? And then like it's content to compile all of them together.
Oh,
And
that's
then like I
cute.
take people's comments when they troll me, like I don't even see celebrities in your content. Do you even cook for famous people? And I like took that screenshot. And then every single client as I'm cooking, I show them that. And then I like have them act out some kind of skit behind me. And they're like Emmy nominated actors. So they're amazing. And I'm like, wow. But I'll be cooking and they like look at the screen and they're like, no, who are you? And like walk out. So I have like a compilation of like all my clients doing that to put together. So just
Oh,
like
that's
these like stupid
hilarious.
ideas. And I keep a note thing in my phone, so people read that, it literally makes no sense.
Your
Like
note, they always say the girl's notepad on their phone is the most dangerous place to go. Yours must be filled with just absolute
it is
chaos.
literally psycho. And I have like shared notes too with my team, and it's literally like buy lighter color of mustache. Mustache doesn't match mullet. Like
Oh my God.
literally
Like, what is happening
crazy.
here?
If someone saw this, I was like, yeah, nuts.
Yeah, that's your job, though. And that's like, it's just so fun that you get to even and
What's
do
fun?
that
I'm
and say
like
that
just
that's
like
your
being
career.
unhinged. You just can't
Yeah.
care what people think. But I like being on camera and acting as much as I like cooking, honestly.
I know.
The
I'm like, where did
content,
Brooke
like
get her acting skills from? Like, I see your ads myself on TikTok, and I'm like, Brooke is such a good actress. I'm like, you have no background in acting, to
so
my
it's
knowledge,
fun. I've always
right?
no, I've always just
I'm like,
liked
okay,
acting. I've always just liked it. I honestly
okay.
should have taken classes when I was younger. It was
Yeah,
just so
you're very good
interesting
at
to
it.
me. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think my parents were just the pre-med route and like always thought I was going to go med science. And then I took the ACT, which is like the science version of the SAT. And needless to say, it was not my route for life. But yeah, I like the acting. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Just being in front of camera, being silly, getting to act with some of the biggest actors in Hollywood. So fun.
Yeah,
You
like
just
what's not to like about that? Yeah,
It's so
speaking of,
fun.
you just cooked for the Barkers and Kourtney Kardashian.
Yeah.
How was that?
So fun. I love them. They're some of my favorite clients and they're just so chill. And they Halloween is iconic there because they are Halloween.
Yeah,
So I
they
was like,
are notoriously known for having the most epic spread.
and I just love them. And I love making food that everyone can eat and wants to eat, and food that's kid friendly, and food that's indulgent at the same time, and sexy and beautiful and satisfying, but also dietary friendly. So I'm like, for them, it's my Olympics when they're like, we're gluten free, we're dairy free, we're soy free, no seed oils, no peanuts, no tree nuts, no legumes, no cashews, no bananas, no plantains, like all this stuff. I'm like,
You're like, we're good, bring it on.
we need like the Olympic theme song to come
To
on.
come
I'm
on
like, and I
there.
walk in slow motion to the kitchen. I'm like, I'm ready. This is literally what I'm built for. But they
Oh
have
my God.
10 kids between the two of them.
Yeah,
So it's
that's
a
a
lot of
huge family.
kid friendly food that also has to be dietary friendly. But it's fun. I love them.
I saw the cucumbers that you made.
Yeah, I need to make content just of that because the
Did that take
Kardashian
you
cucumber,
hours?
I cut these little cucumbers into skulls and then I cut bell peppers into jack-o'-lanterns. That took 2 hours of my time, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But I
I
was
was gonna say
like,
I don't know how long that looked meticulous to say the
it was
least.
crazy. But I'm
Yeah.
like, how funny would it be to remix that with the famous Kendall Jenner Kardashian cucumber cutting thing? Remember when she was
Oh
like, she
yeah,
was like, someone
with the
has to teach
knife.
these people how to cut a cucumber. Like
Oh, that's such a
something
good
like that
content
has to be,
idea.
yeah, something has to be like that. But no, it's so fun. So hopefully they want me to do like their Thanksgiving or their holiday party or something.
Wait, that would
So
be
I'll come
epic.
back,
Yeah.
which will be really fun. Yeah.
Well, you talked about them like having all these dietary restrictions. Can you share a little bit more about like your background and growing up kosher
Hmm.
and what that's been like with your career, especially with clients that maybe eat everything? And have you been asked to cook pork, shellfish? What's that
So
been like?
multiple parts to that answer, but I grew up kosher, so I had separate dishes for meat and dairy growing up. No pork, no shellfish, and then I always we had 9 allergies among the five of us. So my two parents and me and my two siblings, literally 9 allergies. So I saw this need of catering to dietary needs and restrictions before it blew up. Now, I could argue at least one person in every single family has some kind of dietary need or restriction, whether they eat this way for a medical purpose or they're allergic to something and it's only going to grow. We're talking hundreds of millions of Americans, but I saw this firsthand, like in a very serious case of it. I really don't know what happened, but we all have different allergies, and that was my creative outlet in the kitchen was making food that everyone in my family can eat and would want to eat because my parents would work so hard and then they would get home and have to make 5 dinners for all of us. And then I started getting creative in the kitchen as my creative outlet, making gluten-free, dairy-free mac and cheese. That's still the recipe that I make for the Sandler's kids that are when I cook gluten-free, dairy-free kid food for them. So, no, I definitely came full circle. But what was this? There was a second part of this question. Normally, my clients ask me what I like to make, or they want classic Chef Bae food, or they'll see what I make on social media and they'll be like, we want this, we want this, we want those Cheez-Its you made for Emma Roberts, or whatever it may be. But there are a couple of times where I have made shellfish. It's just not, and I can. I've honestly, like, I just did, I did shrimp curry for Diplo very recently, and I
Okay.
know how to cook everything. I've probably made more pork than 99% of America. I used to do corporate product development and meal prototyping for a company called Freshly, which was bought
Yeah.
out by Nestle, and I would do the meal prototypes and help them scale it up. Oop, hit this. I would help them scale up the meals in all the different facilities. Um, and one of the most famous meals was a pork chop. So I've made so many pork chops and I've never eaten it. And no one would ever know, but I know how it should smell. I know how you should like poke it, like what it should feel like. I know how to season it. So people love my pork chop. I've literally not eaten it. And that's the craziest thing. But normally I'll have a kitchen assistant that'll just be like, cut her a slice and she'll be like, yeah, delicious. And then I'll just put it on the plate with everything else. It's not tasted, just I haven't
Just you personally have
eaten
not
it. But the
tasted it.
worst part was when I was doing corporate food product development and prototyping for Nestle, doing these freshly prepared meals that went into a microwave. The guy that was the professional taste tester got COVID. So we would make the meals and send it to him. And then he told us like a year later that he literally couldn't taste for 6 months, but didn't want to lose his job. So I wasn't trying the pork. He wasn't trying the pork. I'm like,
So no
no
one
one
had.
complained. Like no one complained, but literally like no one was tasting this.
Oh, you're like could have gone totally south, but
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
complaints.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, the
no
thing is now the
word,
company
all
doesn't
good.
exist anymore, so it's fine.
Yeah, seriously. Oh wait, that's hilarious. I forget that. Yeah, COVID. He probably didn't have a sense of taste for quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. It
unfortunate.
was wild. But admitted it years later. Didn't want to lose his job.
I mean, smart man, honestly, and good thing no issue with the pork. So, so yeah, with the like, did you ever know like how to even cook pork though? Like when the first time you were tasked to do that, like how did
Kinda
you know
just
how to do
season
it?
it like a regular loin of meat. Like, you know, the fat content, you want to get it to a certain temperature internally. And yeah, you just kind of figured it out. Then people are like, oh, that tastes great. And then you just kind of replicate it over and over and over again. I mean, a lot of my recipes, now people are like, oh my God, how do you cook in the kitchen and just not eat all the time? And I'm like, so many of my recipes I've made so many times that I can't even, don't even want to smell it anymore. They're delicious.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
my carrot cake, because so many people saw it on social media, because like Chrissy Teigen and John Legend and like all these people blew it up. And then it was then sold at Erewhon. And I made it so many times that I could not eat this cake if I wanted to anymore. I've made it like thousands of times. So now I'm just like, it's just
Carrot
like
cake is done
a,
for you. We can
it's
say
done.
R.I.P. to the
It's
carrot
done. But
cake.
it's just like a science. You know how to put it together, make the recipe perfectly. I don't need to taste it. There's a cake.
Yeah, that is so funny. I'm thinking about like what you're known for. I do remember seeing like the carrot cakes in the mason jars.
Yeah, I know.
What
You never
else?
got to
Like
try the
I need to try the
cake.
carrot
Yeah,
cake.
I'll make
Yeah,
it for you.
one day.
My
One day.
delicious carrot cake. I
Me
won't
too.
smell it. I'll just make it for
You
you.
don't need to. Yeah, just to put a mask on. Don't smell it. Don't taste it. But would love to try that. Um, So we had some questions I asked online. I asked on my Instagram if people had questions for you. Some people wanted to know a little bit more about like your Jewish background, and they've seen you being in Israel and like posting a lot of content there. They saw you cooking for IDF soldiers. I feel like from what I know from you, like, certainly with posting on social media, it's very risky and controversial, especially during the time that you did post that. So, how do you balance like showcasing your Jewish identity and love for Israel with this online presence of yours?
That's a tricky question that I'm still trying to figure out. I'm definitely such a proud Jew. I love going to Tel Aviv. I have family that lives there. And it's always a tricky thing to balance because there's so much propaganda online, there's so much misinformation, and people are crazy online. Truly, I'll be making a challah bread and people will send death threats, and I'm like, do you have a mother? Like, it's a wild world we live in. So I'm navigating it every day. I would say switching to a Jewish manager has been game changing. Just understanding what is important to me and not having to explain things like why I volunteer for Jewish community centers and do so much work in the Jewish world that's just not making money, not bringing money. It's obviously taking time away from other projects I could be doing, but I just want to support the Jewish community and I don't need to explain why. So that's been really refreshing. I love her. Um, and then just navigating the right way to talk about being Jewish. So, for example, Whitney from the Hills, I was just with her on a retreat and we made a challah together, and people didn't even realize that she was Jewish. And on her retreat, I led a challah baking demo, and her and I were making challah and just talking about how she grew up Jewish and kosher. And then she was the only one out of all of her siblings that wasn't bat mitzvahed. So I made a joke. I'm like, this is Whitney's bat mitzvah. And just so funny, but that kind of lighthearted Jewish content and just saying like, oh wow, I didn't even know that person was Jewish. And
Yeah.
yeah, content that hits people that I, I'm not trying to target the Jewish Hasbara kind of people on social media, but I have a good percentage of my following that isn't Jewish. So teaching them something about Judaism or giving them a different impression of Judaism that isn't the crazy propaganda that's on TikTok that they're actually going to want to watch. So it's not political, it's just, making challah bread.
Lighthearted and
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, speaking of that, it would be really cool if you cooked for Adam Brody and Leighton Meester.
That would be very
like post
cool.
Nobody Wants This to do a collab. I'm putting that energy out there for you because I feel like you can make really cute Jewish content with them.
Funny you say that because they actually reached out.
No way.
Yeah, so it could be coming. It could be coming for
Wow, that
something
would
with
be
the This Is
really
Us cast.
cool.
Yeah,
That would
yeah,
be awesome.
yeah.
Okay.
And
Well,
the two sisters, the producers of the show too.
oh, the
They're the Fosters.
Fosters.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jewish. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I worked with them on for their favorite daughter clothing line, and we did stuff, and I love them. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that would be
stuff could be
epic.
coming.
Wow, I literally didn't
Yeah.
even know that and just said that, and it's crazy how small
Manifest more.
our Jewish world though is so small. Like,
Yeah.
do you have any people that are your ideal dream like Shabbat dinner guests, for example?
Dream Shabbat dinner guests. Adam could definitely come. I love Adam. Adam Sandler. Dream dinner guest for my Shabbat dinner. That's a very good question.
If you're listening, that Chef Bae
Yeah,
wants at the dinner table.
seriously.
I have one for you if you
Oh.
can't think of one.
And I'm like overwhelmed with like all the cool Jews in the world. Yeah, wait, who?
I personally think you should invite Drake to a Shabbat dinner.
Oh, sick. That'd be a good one.
Because that would be a good one, and I think we need to bring him back to the community, to his Jewish identity, because there's been a lot of rumblings online about him the last few years about how he hasn't been supportive of his community, and I think a lot of people, including myself, who is a OG Drake fan, has been upset by that. So if we
Yeah.
could just bring him back, which is a lighthearted evening by Chef Bae.
Love, yeah, Drake, Jimmy Kimmel, love him. Jerry Seinfeld, that'd be a good one. That'd be a really good
That'd
one.
be a really good one.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of good ones.
And do people typically reach out to you, or do you ever do like cold outreach to clients?
Sometimes
to
I
potential
DM them
clients?
and it's like a cold hard, like I didn't even open it. Maybe they did. I don't really know. Sometimes I'll get a cool follow and then we'll start messaging each other.
Who's been like your coolest one that you've cold outreach to, cold DM'd?
Usually I outreach like most random people because I'm like maybe someone that's like not a has-been, but like the weirdest, almost Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg kind of thing. Like I reached out to Pitbull.
I love that.
I was like, why not? Like make a lasagna with Pitbull. Like I cooked. LL Cool J was one of my clients years ago, and I was
No
like, that's
way.
so funny. And he came in like middle of the summer wearing like a puffy Gucci jacket and like giant sunglasses, like still living in the 90s. And I was like, that's so funny. If like, how weird would it be? Like me and Pitbull, me and LL Cool J.
Also,
like,
Pitbull, Mr.
Akon.
305.
Yeah.
You should do Pitbull in Miami.
So funny. So I DM'd
Yeah.
him. He has not responded. So Pitbull, get back to me. Ghosted. um, I know Jennifer Coolidge has followed me for years. Never replied to a DM. I was like, and she's vegan. Like it would be such a cool.
That would be
It'd be such a cool
so
fit.
cute. And you're both blondes. Like
Yeah,
that
it'd
would,
been
you could
very
make some really
cool.
cool stuff together. Yeah.
But a lot of my clients, like them or their kids, are how they found me on social. The ones that I've really cooked for haven't really been like me outreaching. I'm trying to think, have I ever like, I don't think any of my outreach so far has been that successful. Usually it's the other way around, but not complaining.
Okay.
So-
I mean, yeah, that's a good problem to have.
No, yeah, it's fine.
What about like DMs from actually like speaking of, you've talked about the hate that you've gotten from like
Yeah.
the Jewish or like Israeli content you posted. What about any like surprising lovely messages that you've gotten from people? Like I'm sure some people have reached out hopefully being like, you've taught me about Judaism, or do any come to mind that maybe surprised you?
So many. I mean, I've chose
Okay.
just saying this, but I used to be stopped before I thought people just knew that I was Jewish, and then after volunteering in Israel and doing all this stuff, then people were like, it like open, they had no idea. And I thought I was so open about who I am personally, and I guess I never really was. And people had no idea about so much about me, let alone being Jewish. So I used to be stopped all the time being like, oh my God, you're the Erewhon girl. You're the Erewhon girl. And now it's like, thank you for, being such a proud Jew. Or like young girls will like take out their Jewish star and they'll be like, I was on set for my Fox cooking show and the head of social media, she was like a 22-year-old girl at the social media intern. And she was wearing her Jewish star. She's like, I wore this. Like, I'm so proud. Like, thanks so much for all you do for Jewish people. And like, just, being a proud Jew. And that's 99% of what I'm stopped for now. And it's like the best feeling in the world, to just, make people proud for who they are. So,
Totally.
yeah, definitely with that came a tremendous amount of hate. Would I do it again and again and again? 100%, because it brought me the most incredible community of my entire life. The best friends I've ever had in my life, the best community I could have ever asked for that I had no idea existed, and just this entire world. But yeah, I went through an insane amount of hate. And then a lot of hate comments online are usually bots because you can track where they're coming from. And it was like all coming from India and these countries where I have no following. So it was all fake and, Qatar funded bots or whatever that would say like the crazy hate words. But then you would have actual real people that would comment on those because if the hate comments were the majority, then these crazy people online would feel like they're empowered to then make a comment below it. But if they're the odd ones out, they have no balls. So if it's all positive, I love you, Shabbat Shalom, all this stuff, they will never comment. So it's basically like deleting the bot comments and basically putting a Band-Aid on a leak. So to not let it overflow. And then with that, you just put block words. I probably have 900 block words.
Oh my God.
So now sometimes
on TikTok and Instagram? You can do it on both?
You could do it on both. Okay. And I would literally, when I block one, I would like go on the other app and block the other. But at the height of it, when I was posting about like volunteering and a lot of Jewish stuff, my assistant was probably on my social media for 3 hours a day just deleting hate comments. Like thousands of hate comments a day. And for me, I was like, a lot of them are empty threats. Some of them I didn't see until I even left where I was staying because I was also staying at a hotel at the time and posting where I was. And now I know, post about the hotel after you leave kind of thing. Yeah. But people are like, I know where you're staying. I'm going to find your room and come kill you. Like all this crazy stuff I saw after. But I was like, okay, it's, I'm putting myself in this situation. I'm taking this risk. I'm whatever. But then they came after, then my parents felt unsafe. And then I was just horrified. So one morning I woke up and I was in Tel Aviv and I just got a message from some chef friends. It was like Mike Slomanov or like Adina Sussman or some of my Jewish chef friends. And they were like, are you okay? They just texted me, are you okay? And they were both in Israel. So I assumed I slept through an alarm or something. And I was like, yeah, did I sleep through an alarm? Like, LOL, whatever. And they were like, no, New York Magazine. They were like, just New York Magazine, period, and then sent me the link.
Oh, God.
And I had literally no idea what was going to explode from this, but it was just my face on the cover of the magazine. It said, Chef Bae has a new occupation, the chef committing genocide in Gaza. And it was just my face. And I was like, oh my God, this came out within like 24 hours. It was just crazy. I was like shadow banned from social media. I was getting death threats. It was like insane. Like getting my name on Google Trends was just like skyrocketing, but like in the worst way. And I was like, what the F is going on? It was the weirdest thing. I couldn't post to my stories. I was like, is my career over? I don't really know. Needless to say, it was the start to the best part of my career. But it said, the article in the magazine said, Chef Bae, aka Brooke Baevsky, parents of Robert and Yvonne Baevsky of Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and then continued. So my parents didn't feel safe.
I remember this. They got like extra security.
They had to get
Longmeadow,
temple security outside of their house for a month. So I was like, do whatever you want, threaten me. But my family, I was like, oh my God, they don't deserve anything like that. And they're so supportive and love me and they're, support me 100% and know what I was doing is right. But it's crazy to know that you're putting your parents in a situation that could be putting them in danger, and scaring them is like a whole other game.
It's also really terrifying to know that, first of all, anyone can write anything about anyone, and like cancel culture is just so real and never been more real. But it's terrifying to not know like how real these threats are, right? It's like how serious you need to take them, and if you don't take them seriously enough, God forbid, something horrible happens. So better to be on the safer side and have security at your house. But the fact that your parents even had to do that is just awful and sad. And we're not like the victims here at the end of the day. Like, this isn't about victimhood. Like, you were doing something amazing for our community in Israel, and unfortunately this backlash happened. But this is the reality of being a Jew right now. It's like this shit happens.
There's it's a lot.
Do you know who wrote the article, and like what did you guys, I guess, like how did your PR team tackle that?
So I was actually going on a trip after with Chen Mazig as part of the Tel Aviv Institute, and he's amazing at navigating, Jewish culture. He's such a wonderful spokesperson for our community, and between him and the 30 people on this trip that I had helping me, that were all influencers and Jewish people in the media helping me navigate this article. I couldn't have been in a better place to say, what do I do? And even Hen was like, don't reply. And they didn't give me a chance to comment or anything. And there were a lot of other articles across so many different platforms that came out at the same time. But he's like, if you reply, it brings more attention to it. And then just don't even be associated with the article at all. Let it die. If you add a comment, it lets them republish it and it brings it back to the eye. So just let it die. They still exist. They're still out there. But
that was probably great advice, because I feel like, again, like these things happen and it's like a fire, but then it diminishes so quickly, and now no one even thinks about that. So
no, it's just, there's so much that people just don't know. But we have to. The media war is a crazy war that you have to win. People just don't know the truth,
Well, good for you for going there and going to Israel and showing people what it's like, regardless of how that could have impacted your career, and happy to hear that it's only been for the better. So
if people don't love me for who I am, I'm going to stay true to myself across all things, being unhinged, being silly, being unedited, being unfiltered, being proudly Jewish, whatever it may be. I'm going to be myself. If you don't like it, unfollow. And I've lost tens of thousands of followers by being true to myself, but with that I've gained a million more. So you know what? Staying true to yourself is just, as cheesy as that is, it's going to, in the long run, people like authenticity and
being authentic.
Yeah. Even with brands, some of the brands with the biggest budgets, the biggest money, I've turned down, because at the end of the day, if you don't have trust with your followers and authenticity, and they're like, why are you posting this brand we know you don't use? Your value is diminished to nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, gotta be true to yourself. So I want to ask you a few more questions, Brooke, that came from the followers. So one of my guy friends wrote, what is this is really taking a turn. What is the craziest DM from a heterosexual male that you have received? Speaking of DMs.
Craziest DM.
Like, do you get a lot of DMs? Being like, are you single?
So many,
are you
the crazy weird shit? But it's like,
and are they always weirdos? For the most part.
No one I've ever gone out with, that's for sure.
Okay.
I mean, normally I just don't even open it, or some of them I don't even see. TikTok is like spam. It's like weird sugar daddies or like crazy people asking for God knows what. But
because I feel like that's the biggest misconception, is like people think that like, oh, all these like hot influencers have all these hot men in their DMs, and it's like, the hot men aren't the ones DMing, probably. The hot normal ones aren't the ones sliding in. It's probably
maybe there's been like some ones that maybe look normal, but I think they were private and you can't see what they look like anyway.
Yeah.
But some seem like polite messages. I don't know.
So we've never gone out with a guy.
Never gone out with a guy from Instagram. Then there's like the classic ones that like fire emoji everything. Like all the time. Those like, that are like so invested that I'm like, you spend so much time fire emojiing like every single story.
I love that. They're loyal fans.
But then there's like a lot of the Jewish moms love them. They're like so loyal, and also have no idea of like social media etiquette. And it's the funniest thing, because like they'll be like Susan Goldfarb, and she'll be like, hi again. Aww. Like, my son's coming for Thanksgiving and he's vegan. Like, what do you think about this recipe? And then she'll like follow up like I have literally nothing else to do, but I like love it so much. She'll be like, I found this mayonnaise. Which one do you like? I'm at the store right now. Like, do you like this brand of mayonnaise or this one? Then I'll be like on social, I'll be like, this one. Then she'll be like, okay, but I think the other one's a little bit cheaper. Do you significantly think this one tastes better? Like, it's like the funniest thing. Like,
as if you have like, all the time in the world to
like
just have this conversation with Susan Goldberg.
They have like no idea. They just think it's like my personal number. And right. I'm best friends with. It's like the cutest thing ever.
Really
so
cute.
Like, and I get back to everyone, honestly, that messages. I feel like if you have the time and actually, it's like, I'm so honored that you came and want to message me or like ask me a question about a recipe, or so most of it is like food related. Most of my followers are women, 90%.
Okay, that's a lot.
That's what you want to. The women are like the ones that make the decisions in the house,
Yeah, they wear the pants. We love the women that wear the pants.
Yeah.
So for the bros, though, we do have a question from some of the bros. They asked for an easy, high-protein, healthy meal to make.
Easy, high-protein, healthy meal, assuming dinner.
Yeah,
probably.
Let's assume dinner.
I make I have a Thai turkey meatball. So all my recipes, you can even subscribe for free. I have so many free recipes on my Substack. It's linked in my social media bio, but I have these Thai turkey meatballs, hands
Ooh.
down, with ginger, and garlic and all these spices, and they're very easy to make, and you can freeze them as meal prep. So definitely the Thai
Sounds
turkey
good.
meatballs, I would say, go to.
Okay, Brooke. Well, last question for you is what's next for Chef Bae? I know you have some very exciting things coming up. I don't know if you can share them,
Well, I'm an open book.
but tell me what's going on.
All the secrets coming out. You have to watch the
Give us all the
podcast.
tea.
A show with Fox is coming out,
Wow.
airing in December. I'm doing some things with Nightline on like a Nightline segment that's coming out um, on ABC. I have a cookbook that is in the works called It's Basically a Salad because I trademarked as gluten-free and dairy-free, so it's basically a salad. Um, what else? Some exciting things in the non-scripted worlds, like reality TV that are very exciting,
Whoa.
in the works. And I don't know, every day is different.
And
Some
maybe a
fun
Shabbat
brand
dinner in
deals.
Miami.
Shabbat dinner in Miami. Let's do
We
it.
need to do that
Yay.
soon. Yeah.
I'm very excited. All the Shabbat dinners.
All the Shabbat dinners. Okay, we love
All the
that.
hosting.
Well, Brooke,
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you would like to share with people that I haven't
Well,
asked you?
thanks for having me. You're such a good interviewer.
Oh,
I would say follow me on social, self plug, Chef Bae, ChefBae on Instagram, Chef Bae on TikTok. It's Chef Bae on YouTube. I have Substack where I have all these recipes and you can subscribe for free. Yeah, YouTube is fun. I started doing long form vlogs about 2 years ago because people wanted more of the behind the scenes of private chefing because social media is this highlight reel and there's so much more that goes into it than what you can share on social, just Instagram and TikTok. So I do 15 to 18-minute long form videos, private chefing for my celebrity clients, and they're really fun. So I would say subscribe to my YouTube. It's a good time on there.
okay. Yeah, I did see one of your vlogs recently. I liked it. It was fun to watch. So
That's
day in
fun,
the
thank
life.
you.
Actually, last plug, I'm hosting a Shabbat dinner December 12th in Miami with an amazing Jewish brand, Chai V'Kayam, and one table. And Chef Bae will be providing desserts for the evening. So come to Shabbat, bring one, bring all, and can't wait to have a beautiful dinner with everyone in Miami.
Love, and I love their sweats too. They're
So cute,
fun,
so
yeah.
comfy. Well, thanks, Brooke. You're
Thank
the best.
you. This is so fun.
Yay.